I never thought my life would come to this. If anyone from work saw me now, if my colleagues at the sleek, high-pressure marketing firm where I spend most of my waking hours could peek behind the curtain of my private world, they'd never believe it. By day, I was Alex Parker, 28 years old, reliable, efficient, always in control. The guy who dressed sharp in fitted suits, kept his voice steady in meetings, and never gave away much about himself. But in the quiet corners of my life, I wasn't just Alex. There was another part of me, a softer, hidden self that I kept locked away. A self that found comfort in delicate fabrics, in colors too vibrant for a man's wardrobe, in shoes that clicked against the floor like a heartbeat. Crossdressing had been my secret since college, but it was never something I dared to share openly. To me, it wasn't just about clothes. It was about stepping into a version of myself that felt freer, more alive, even if it scared me. And the scariest part? My girlfriend Emma had discovered it. Emma was radiant, magnetic in ways I never was. She could walk into a room and own it with nothing but her smile. She was the kind of woman people remembered. Bold, stylish, unafraid. She wasn't cruel, not really, but she had a mischievous streak, the kind that could make you nervous and excited at the same time. When she found out about my secret, she didn't recoil in disgust like I feared. She laughed. At first, I thought the laughter meant the end of us. But then she leaned closer, eyes glittering, and whispered words I'll never forget. If you love this so much, Alex, then prove it.
Be brave.
Be mine in every way. That was the start of the bet. Emma dared me to do what I'd only fantasized about in the safety of my own reflection. She wanted me to dress for her, not just in secret, but fully, completely, the way I always imagined. But she didn't stop there. No. She added a twist that made my stomach drop. If you lose this bet, she said, you'll become my maid. My Sissy Maid. At least for a while. You'll dress the part, do the chores, and you'll do it all in heels and lace. Her voice was playful, but her eyes held something sharper. She was challenging me, testing the balance of fear and desire that churned inside me. Part of me wanted to refuse, to tell her it was too much, too risky. But another part, one I'd buried under years of self-control, thrilled at the idea. And so, against my better judgment, I agreed. Our apartment became the stage for this strange, intoxicating game. By day, it was ordinary. Books stacked on the coffee table, dishes in the sink, the faint hum of traffic outside our windows. But at night, the mood shifted. Emma brought out bags I hadn't seen before, clothes, makeup, shoes that looked like they'd been plucked from a boutique designed for someone far braver than me. She sat me down in front of the mirror, her hands steady as she worked foundation into my skin. My reflection blurred, then sharpened, slowly reshaping into someone I almost recognized but couldn't claim. When she slid a wig over my cropped hair, the change was startling. I stared at the girl in the mirror, wide-eyed and trembling, wondering if this was really me. Don't be shy, Emma teased, brushing mascara onto my lashes. You look adorable. But soon, you'll look more than that. You'll look like mine. The words sank into me like both a promise and a threat. I thought I would hate it. I thought shame would burn hotter than curiosity. But as the lace hugged my body and the heels lifted me higher, I felt something I hadn't expected. Confidence. Vulnerability. A dizzying mixture of fear and thrill that made my heart race. Still, every time I glanced at Emma, I searched her face for judgment. Would she see me as less of a man? Would she decide she didn't want me after this? But instead of disgust, there was only that same mischievous spark. She wasn't backing down. And neither was I. But there was something else simmering beneath the surface. Emma wasn't just playing a game. She was pushing me, shaping me, seeing how far I would go. Every night, the tasks grew a little more daring. First, it was just makeup and clothes. Then it was scrubbing the counters in a frilly apron, vacuuming in heels that pinched my toes, dusting shelves while my skirt brushed against my thighs. I told myself it was temporary, just a bet. A silly challenge between a couple. But deep down, I wondered if Emma saw something in me I hadn't dared to admit. Something permanent. And that thought terrified me. One evening, as I adjusted the satin ribbon tied at my waist, Emma leaned against the doorway, watching me with folded arms and an amused smirk. "You're getting good at this," she said softly. "Almost like you were meant for it." Her words hit me harder than I expected, almost like I was meant for it. I laughed nervously, trying to shrug it off, but the truth was gnawing at me. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was meant for this. Maybe the part of me I'd been hiding wasn't just a secret hobby, but a truer version of myself than I wanted to admit. Before I could answer, Emma's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, then looked back at me with a sly grin. "Oh, this is perfect," she said. "I just got a message. My best friend might stop by tonight. What do you think she'll say when she sees you like this?" My blood ran cold. I froze in the middle of the living room, skirts brushing my knees, heels digging into the carpet, my reflection still fresh in the mirror behind me. Emma's words echoed in my ears. Her best friend, coming here? Tonight? If she walked in right now, she wouldn't see Alex, the man she knew. She'd see someone else entirely. My secret self, exposed. And for the first time, I realized, this bet wasn't just a game anymore. It was a trap. Emma's words lingered in the air like a thunderclap. Her best friend might stop by tonight. I stood frozen, my heart hammering so hard I thought it might crack my ribs. The satin apron clung to me, my freshly painted nails trembled against the lace hem, and every second stretched like an eternity. "Emma," I whispered, my throat dry. "You can't be serious. I can't let her see me like this." Emma tilted her head, her smile playful yet unnervingly calm. "Why not? You look adorable. Besides, you're just fulfilling the bet. What's the harm?" Her teasing tone only made my pulse race faster. She didn't understand, or maybe she understood all too well. If her friend came, my secret would explode beyond these four walls. My carefully built mask, the sharp, masculine Alex everyone knew, would crumble in an instant. But Emma only shrugged and walked off toward the kitchen, humming as if this wasn't the most terrifying threat I'd ever faced. The minutes crawled by, each one an agony of second-guessing. My mind spiraled between shame and thrill. On one hand, fear devoured me. I imagined the gossip, the whispers, the cruel smirks if word got out. How could I face the office again? How could I face myself? But on the other hand, there was something electrifying about the possibility. About standing in full view, no longer hiding. About being seen, truly seen, even if it was by accident. And that realization terrified me even more. Why did part of me want the risk? Why did my pulse quicken not only with dread, but with a strange, intoxicating excitement? To distract myself, I wandered back to the mirror. My reflection stared at me, alien yet familiar. The black maid's dress fit tightly, hugging me in places that made me self-conscious. The skirt flared just above my knees, swaying with every nervous shift of my legs. The white lace apron tied neatly around my waist, its bow large and feminine. Stockings hugged my calves, disappearing into glossy black heels that made me taller, fragile, and unsteady all at once. My makeup was flawless, Emma's handiwork transforming my face into something softer, prettier. I barely recognized myself, and yet, I couldn't look away. I ran a finger along my cheekbone, shivering at the smoothness, at the illusion. For a moment, I let myself imagine what it would be like to live like this, not as a bet, not as a joke, but as reality. Would I be happier? Or would the world crush me for daring to show it? A knock rattled the door. I nearly screamed, spinning so fast my heels slipped on the carpet. My heart plummeted into my stomach. Emma peeked around the corner, eyes twinkling with mischief. "Relax, it's just the delivery guy," she whispered. She grabbed her wallet and slipped out, leaving me trembling alone in the living room. But the damage was done. My nerves were raw, stretched thin. If a simple knock could undo me, what would happen if her friend actually showed up? As I waited, every sound felt amplified. The ticking clock, the distant hum of traffic, even the faint buzz of Emma's phone on the counter. My mind conjured images of doors opening, footsteps approaching, strangers' eyes widening in shock at what they saw. And yet, I didn't change. I could have. I could have ripped off the dress, scrubbed the makeup, and buried the evidence before anyone arrived. But I didn't.
Why?
Because deep down, I didn't want to. When Emma returned, she carried 2 bags of groceries, her smirk widening as she caught me still dressed, still trembling. "You didn't change," she noted, setting the bags down. "Interesting." I opened my mouth to argue, to say I didn't have time, but no words came. My silence betrayed me. Emma stepped closer, brushing a strand of the wig from my cheek. Her touch was gentle, almost affectionate. "You're starting to like this, aren't you?" Heat rushed to my face. I wanted to deny it, to insist this was just a bet, but the truth lodged in my throat. I was starting to like it, and that scared me more than anything else. "Don't worry," she whispered. "I'll help you. I'll make you the perfect maid. The perfect Sissy Maid." Her words wrapped around me like silk and chains all at once. The days that followed blurred into a strange routine. Every evening, Emma gave me new tasks, dusting shelves, folding laundry, even serving her dinner, always in the same humiliatingly feminine uniform. She corrected my posture, adjusted my voice, made me practice curtsies until my knees ached. And though I burned with embarrassment, I obeyed. But it wasn't just humiliation anymore. Somewhere in the repetition, a new emotion grew, something dangerously close to pride. When Emma complimented my smooth movements, or said I was improving, I felt a thrill that confused me. I wanted her approval. No, I needed it. One night, as I scrubbed the kitchen floor on my hands and knees, I heard Emma speaking softly on the phone in the other room. I tried not to eavesdrop, but her words floated through the half-open door. "You'll never believe what I've been doing with Alex." "No, it's insane. I'll show you soon." My blood ran cold. Show you soon? Did that mean what I thought it meant? Was she planning to reveal me to someone? Her best friend? Someone else? The mop slipped from my hand, clattering against the tiles. I scrambled to pick it up before she noticed, but my heart wouldn't stop pounding. Emma's bet was spiraling into something I couldn't control. Later that night, as I folded laundry in the maid's outfit, Emma strolled in casually, her phone still in her hand. She glanced at me, smiled, and said in the sweetest, most terrifying tone, "By the way, Alex, I invited someone over tomorrow. Don't worry, you'll be dressed perfectly for them." The basket slipped from my hands. A pair of lacy stockings tumbled onto the floor, a mocking reminder of what I had become. My worst fear was about to come true. The night stretched long, each tick of the clock drilling deeper into my nerves. I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned in the sheets, haunted by Emma's words. "I invited someone over tomorrow. Don't worry, you'll be dressed perfectly for them." What did she mean? Who was coming? Her best friend? A relative? Worse, one of my coworkers? I tried to convince myself she was bluffing, that it was just another way to tease me, to watch me squirm. But deep down, I knew Emma too well. When she made a bet, she never backed down. I awoke to the rustle of hangers in the closet. Emma was already up, laying out clothes. Not just any clothes, an elaborate maid's dress, even frillier than the one before. The black satin shimmered under the morning light, trimmed with delicate lace at the cuffs and hem. A crisp white apron lay neatly folded beside it, along with thigh-high stockings and impossibly high black stilettos. "Good morning, sleepyhead," Emma chirped, her tone overly sweet. "Today's important. You'll need to look your best." I sat up, rubbing my eyes. "Emma, who's coming?" She smirked, dodging the question. "Someone very special. Now hurry up. We don't want you looking sloppy." My chest tightened. Whoever it was, Emma clearly wanted them to see this side of me. I hesitated, but Emma's gaze was firm. Reluctantly, I stepped into the dress. The satin whispered against my skin as I pulled it up, the fabric clinging tightly to my torso before flaring at the waist. Emma helped tie the apron, tugging it snug, as if sealing me into my role. The stockings hugged my legs, smooth and constricting, while the stilettos lifted me precariously. I stumbled once, but Emma caught me with a laugh. "Graceful, my maid," she teased. She sat me at the vanity and worked with precise hands, foundation, blush, eyeshadow, eyeliner. Each stroke erased Alex and revealed someone new. She placed a blonde wig atop my head, brushing it until it shimmered in waves. When she fastened a little lace headpiece to crown the look, the image staring back at me was shocking. I didn't see a man anymore. I didn't even see Alex. I saw her. A Sissy Maid, trembling and beautiful, trapped between shame and desire. By noon, the apartment gleamed. Emma had kept me busy, dusting, polishing, setting the table, as if I were truly her servant. Every task amplified my humiliation. Every glance at my reflection made me question whether this was still a game, or if Emma was molding me into something permanent. Then came the knock. I froze, feather duster in hand, my blood turning to ice. Emma grinned. That must be her. Her friend. My knees weakened. I wanted to run, to hide in the bedroom, to tear off the wig and makeup and scream that the bet was over. But my body refused to move. Emma opened the door. "Hey, long time no see," a cheerful female voice rang out. I shrank back, heart pounding. Through the doorway stepped Lily, Emma's best friend since college. I'd met her a handful of times before, always confident, always observant. The kind of woman who noticed everything. And now, her sharp eyes landed on me. For a heartbeat, silence ruled. Her gaze swept me from head to toe, the frilly uniform, the heels, the wig. My face flushed crimson. My lungs burned as I waited for her laughter, her disgust, her something. Instead, she arched a brow and smirked. Well, Emma wasn't exaggerating. I nearly collapsed. She knew. Emma slipped an arm around Lily, leading her inside as if nothing were strange.
Told you.
Isn't she adorable?
She.
The word hit me like a lightning strike. My throat tightened. Lily chuckled, settling onto the couch. Adorable isn't the word I'd use. More like convincing. You've really got him trained, Em.
Trained.
The humiliation seared through me, but beneath it, a flicker of warmth sparked. Convincing. Adorable. Words that should have cut me down instead tangled with dangerous pride. Emma winked at me. Show her how well you curtsy, maid. I wanted to scream, but instead, I bent my knees, pinched my skirt, and dipped clumsily. My heart hammered in shame as Lily laughed, but there was something else in her tone. Not cruelty, but fascination. Just as I thought it couldn't get worse, Lily's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and smirked. My boyfriend's downstairs. Mind if he comes up? I nearly dropped the tray I was holding. A man? If he saw me like this, if any man saw me, I didn't know if I'd survive it. Emma shot me a wicked grin. Of course. Bring him up. No. The word tore from my throat before I could stop it. Both women turned to me, eyebrows raised. My face burned. I stammered. I don't think that's a good idea. Emma's smirk deepened. Why not? Afraid he'll think you're cute? Their laughter sliced through me. But beneath the terror, that same dangerous thrill surged. The knock at the door came again, this time louder, heavier. Panic clawed at me. I stumbled backward, the heel of my stiletto catching on the rug. I pitched forward, arms flailing. The wig slipped, tumbling askew as I hit the floor. The room froze. My reflection in the mirror across the wall showed both versions of me at once. Wig crooked, makeup smeared, maid's dress bunched around trembling legs. Alex and the maid colliding, neither fully whole. For the first time, I wondered if I could ever go back. The door creaked open. Heavy footsteps entered the apartment. Hey, babe, a deep voice rumbled. I scrambled to fix the wig, to pull myself together, but it was too late. The man's gaze lifted and locked onto me. His eyes narrowed. And then he asked the question that made my stomach drop into a pit of dread. Who the hell is she? The room froze. Lily's boyfriend stood in the doorway, broad-shouldered, casual in jeans and a t-shirt, yet suddenly more terrifying than any nightmare I'd conjured. His eyes scanned me, stockings, wig, frills, heels, before locking onto my trembling face. Who the hell is she? He repeated, his tone edged with confusion and suspicion. My lips parted, but no sound came. Panic roared through me. I wasn't Alex anymore. Not in this outfit, not with this makeup, not with the satin ribbon cinching my waist. To him, I was exactly what I looked like. A maid. Emma stepped in smoothly, her hand brushing his arm. Relax, babe, she said with casual cheer. This is my maid. Isn't she, darling? Lily smirked, crossing her legs on the couch. Told you it was worth coming up. My stomach twisted. They were all in on it. This wasn't just a bet anymore. It was a show. And I was the main attraction. He narrowed his eyes, clearly unconvinced. A maid? Since when do you have a maid? Emma laughed, her voice as light as champagne bubbles.
Since now.
Isn't it fun? She turned to me, her smile sharpening. Why don't you serve him a drink, sweetheart? My knees buckled. Serve him? My hands shook so violently, I nearly dropped the glass Emma shoved into them. I crossed the room, every step in the stilettos wobbly and humiliating, my heart pounding as his gaze followed me. When I placed the glass in his hand, he didn't take it immediately. Instead, he leaned closer, studying my face. For a terrifying moment, I thought he saw through it all, that he'd strip away the wig and the paint and point at me, exposing me for the fraud I was. But then he smirked. Not bad, he muttered. You've got her trained well. His words weren't cruel, not exactly, but they hollowed me out. I wasn't Alex anymore. Not here. Not to them. I wasn't even the boyfriend. I was property.
A toy.
A maid. The humiliation burned so hot I wanted to rip off the dress, to scream, to end it all. But another part of me, the part that had grown louder every day, shivered with a different emotion. Thrill. Because, as degrading as it was, there was also power in it. Power in being seen. Power in embracing what I'd always hidden. And that realization terrified me even more than being caught. As the evening wore on, Emma and Lily chatted casually, sipping wine, laughing at inside jokes. Lily's boyfriend lounged with his arm around her shoulders, occasionally glancing at me with mild amusement, like I was some novelty act. Finally, Emma clapped her hands. All right, enough sitting. Maid, dance for us. My blood froze. Emma, no. Her gaze sharpened. A bet's a bet. I stood in the center of the room, music pulsing from Emma's phone, my body trembling. The heels wobbled as I swayed awkwardly, skirts brushing against my thighs. Their laughter filled the room, each giggle slicing into my dignity. But then, something strange happened. As I moved, awkwardness melted into rhythm. The humiliation softened into a strange, intoxicating release. For the first time, I wasn't fighting it. I was letting go. And when I glanced at Emma, her eyes weren't mocking. They were hungry.
Proud.
Just as the music reached its peak, another knock sounded at the door. Everyone froze. Emma frowned. I wasn't expecting anyone else. The knock came again, harder this time. Lily exchanged a nervous glance with her boyfriend. Are you going to get that? Emma hesitated, then strode to the door. She cracked it open, and her smile faltered. From where I stood, I couldn't see who it was. But Emma's sudden stillness made my blood run cold. And then, a familiar voice drifted through the doorway. Alex? Is that you? My heart stopped. Emma opened the door wider, revealing the last person I ever wanted to see me like this. My mother. Her eyes swept the room, landing on me, the frills, the wig, the heels, the makeup, and widened in shock. The tray slipped from my hands, shattering on the floor. The laughter died instantly. The air thickened into silence. I stood frozen, exposed, my double life torn wide open. Alex, her voice cracked. What have you done? The world spun around me. Everything, Emma's bet, my secret desires, my shame, my thrill, collided in that single moment. And just before my knees gave out, one final thought seared through me.
This isn't the end.
This is only the beginning.